Hi everyone, welcome to the B2B Talk. So today we're going to be talking about what it means to be a B2B, how it differs from a B2C marketer, and ways you can be successful with your B2B marketing. So a B2B is a business-to-business marketer. So this primarily means that you are focusing on selling products and services to other businesses rather than to a consumer. So some examples of these can be how like Nabisco wholesales cookies and crackers to Walmart, or how Nike wholesales shoes and clothing to Macy's. So this differs from a B2C, which is a business to consumer. This is when you directly sell a product or service to an individual. So some examples of these can be how car dealerships sell a car to one individual, or how grocery stores and clothing stores sell directly to one customer. So how can you be successful in your B2B? One of the main things is defining your buyer. So that means knowing your target audience and knowing the difference between B2B and B2C and how to effectively market to them. So some of the big differences between them is business to business is usually targeting a smaller audience of groups. You're focused on building relationships. You have multi-step buying services, and you rely on education and awareness. And I think one of the biggest things that stands out is that a B2B usually has a sales team versus a B2C has a marketing team. And then another thing that sticks out is that a B2B is usually solving a problem or reducing some type of risk. So going back to the small audience of groups, so usually it's helpful to develop a customer persona to boost up conversion rates. Something else that is key is also to prioritize satisfaction. So in a B2B, it really is about building that relationship with the other business that you're trying to sell to. So it helps when you create long-term relationships and keep them satisfied, because when customers are satisfied, they're more likely not to leave. So you don't want to give them a reason to go to a different company. So through the customer journey, there's three main things: is the trigger, the consideration, and the purchase. So the trigger is like defining the product. So why should they buy it? Consideration is them thinking through it. And of course, purchase is them buying it. So of course, like any B2B or any B2C, it's crucial to tell your story effectively. So really becoming a master in the art of storytelling is really what's going to set you apart from competitors. So when you storytell, you want to tell your client how you got into the business and why. Like what is your purpose behind it, your background, what your experience is like. So they really want the real and the raw information about what you're doing. And if you're not sure how to get your story out, the biggest way that a lot of companies are starting to do this is by blogging. So statistics show that B2B companies that blog generate 67% more leads per month than those who don't. So that is a pretty big difference between those who don't blog. But blogging is a very easy way to get content and information out through storytelling, of course. And it's a way for people to get to know your company. And lastly, you need to recognize how your buyers consume your content. So this is understanding that the way you advertise to a B2B is different than how you would advertise to a B2C. So you wouldn't necessarily be Snapchatting ads to an individual, but instead you would be using channels like Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn to get out to companies and bigger groups. So different ways people do this is through promo videos on YouTube and Facebook, also through company websites, and photos as well. So a big thing is through B2B advertising, it really is visual content. So people want to see. And another thing is personalized communication, because your customers are unique, since it is a smaller niche of customers. It is different than advertising to a huge group like B2C. They advertise to millions of individuals, versus B2B is directly to companies, so corporate or small businesses. So personalized communication is key, because sometimes you're probably dealing with about 10 to 12 customers. So that is key into building relationships. So once they are your customers, it's about maybe getting their phone number, texting them, giving them phone calls, and checking up on them regularly. Well, I hope this video was helpful in learning more about B2Bs. Thank you for watching.